Episode 5, Season 2, Talk Soon podcast. We got a lot this week. Vince is in the building. Chuck
I'm
Hollywood in the building. How we feeling, fellas? Week 4 is in the books. What are some takeaways? What do you guys think about week 4? Vince, I'll let you start it off.
Week 4 was definitely interesting, man. I know we're gonna talk about Kirk a little later in the Falcons, but I gotta say I'm happy my Bears won. Just to get back in the win column. I will say that the Ravens look like they are a championship team, like I predicted. Because when I know a lot of talk about Henry being washed and all of this, but Henry's not washed, and I think the Ravens, as the season goes on, teams are going to, feel, Lamar Jack and Derrick Henry 20 plus times a game. Like that shit wears on you, man. Especially when the weather starts to get colder. So definitely look out for the Ravens. And then I guess my only other takeaway is, man, crazy that Mahomes took out Rasheed Rice, right? Like that's just nuts.
Tweak of the
So
week.
of the year, maybe, right? So
Bruh.
it was interesting to see how the Chiefs deal with all these injuries because they're now starting to pile up, and rightfully so. They've been fairly healthy the last few years, so that's really all I got from last week.
Chuck?
Week 4, man. I ain't gonna lie, I mean, everything was kind of straightforward. I'm gonna tell people right now. I think Deshaun Watson had to figure it out game last week. I watched that whole game just to see he looked normal last week. So I think that hangs over to this week. I think the Browns will be a little different this week versus the Redskins, and they do focus. But I think week 4, I think Deshaun Watson is back. The Vikings are for real, right? The Lions finally did something they ain't done in years. Blew the fucking doors off a team, right? Like a 3-0 team came to Detroit. That
Was it a blowout?
Yeah, we won by more than 10 points. I said it was a blowout, but we beat them.
It was a tight game, bro.
We beat them convincingly, is what I'm saying. We beat them convincingly. But they back to bully ball. We normally historically keep losing to teams that normally beat us, and we finally put the nail in the coffin and we beat the Seahawks. Thank God. Justin Fields is actually good. It's a lot of week 4 takes. And I'm my biggest surprise though is how the Bills played on Sunday night. I was surprised on how they got blown out by the Ravens. I thought the Ravens were going to win, but I didn't think it was going to be like that.
Yeah, but in my notes, I actually have Vikings hottest team in football. I mean, when we ask, are they for real? That's what I ask you guys. When we say is a team for real, if the Vikings played a healthy Chiefs in the Super Bowl, do you think they got action? Or if they played a Bills team in the Super Bowl, do you think they got action? Because when I say a team's for real, that's what I'm thinking. Like, hey, they could go to the Super Bowl and make it a game.
Right now?
I don't want to say yeah, they're the hottest team in football, but I don't want to get too overreactive. I think they're a really good football team. I'm not ready to put them in the I guess you say top 2% category yet. I got to see a little more football from them. That defense is real, but I want to see Darnold the rest of the year with Jettas. Addison's just getting back, so I don't think they're frauds. I think they're a playoff team, and I think they're going to be in the playoffs. But when I hear the words for real, I'm thinking Super Bowl. That's what I'm thinking.
I hear you.
Aside from that,
I think it's a lot of time left.
A lot of football left, right? We got to see how many times have we seen a team go 4-0 and then they lose the next 3 games, and then you're like, they were frauds the whole time. But I think they're a playoff team. With that being said, I'll talk about my Eagles pretty briefly. I don't want to hear about injuries. They got to make that game competitive. I talked to Vince a little bit about it before we got on air. Hurts has to be better. The defense has to be better. Sirianni, of all, has to be better because he's on the hot seat right now. I think now everyone's seeing it with his decision making. And at the end of the day, when you have a roster like that, you're looking at the head coach and the quarterback. And if both them aren't doing well, it's going to cause some controversy. So we'll get into that. And you touched on a little bit the Ravens. Ravens looked like a powerhouse again the past 2 weeks. With that being said, we'll roll into week 5, Thursday night. Kirko puts up 500 versus the Bucks. 2 really good football teams fighting for that division. How you feeling about the Thursday night game, Chuck?
Division game, which is weird that they scored 66 points. It's a really weird division game. Buccaneers run defenses. Not my bad. I take that back. Buccaneers 1-man run defense. Vita Vea, motherfucker, bro. That shit is crazy, dog. He single-handedly like the Eagles. I mean, he didn't play versus the Eagles, but the fucking
he played. He played versus Philly.
Okay, so that makes sense.
I saw him. He played.
That makes sense.
He wrecked the game.
I didn't watch that. So that makes sense then because he played versus the Lions. Do you know?
I don't think so. His first week back was last week, and he was a game record.
Know how to take the
game
run
record.
They just know how you ain't running. The Bucks is like it's that one run play where you hand it off and you just in the backfield for 5 yards, man. That run like they're a bad matchup for certain teams. And the Falcons, after I watched that game, they were not a good. That like the Falcons probably. I actually think the Falcons probably win that division now. After what I saw, they're just going to throw. They just like, and I know a lot of people are like, oh, they're not using Bijan because that was me. But I realized it like that. And they just like they respect that run defense that much. It's like, yo, we just about to throw. They can't stop the pass. Obviously, over half a rack pass and 4 touchdowns. So it's like, I mean, that's not how you got to beat the Bucks. You got to throw, and they live like that. But am I surprised that Kirk threw for 500? Yes, especially he still don't look good to me. Not to be like an asshole after he threw for 500 yards, but he just still look a little shaky. 36 points by the Falcons. I mean, I'm surprised about. I actually am surprised that they won. To be honest,
Vince.
Yeah, I had the Falcons winning the game. In the bet. So thank God they won. But to talk about Kirk a little bit, man, I'm not a hater. Like, at least I don't feel like I am. I bet we all have things that we hate on. But when it comes to sports, I try to keep it. I try not to, even if I don't like you or if I don't, I'm not a fan.
You're a purist. You're a purist. That's how I feel. You're a purist.
Kirk's a baller, man. Kirk is a baller, and I think that it's time I got to stop like primetime Kirk this and all of that. He's been playing solid. At the very least, we can say that Kirk Cousins has been in a average to a slightly above average quarterback the last 7 years, 7 or however long he's been in the league. And although the 500 it was like, damn, 500. Is it the craziest thing, right? The Bucks. I do feel like the Bucks. At least I assumed the Bucks had better defense than that. But Kirk was throwing the ball across the yard, man, and you just all you can do is really tip your hat. Now I do feel like his playmakers made plays, but that's what you pay them for, right? Like you pay him to get the ball to the playmakers and do what they do. So shout out to Kirk. That was a great game. Probably game of the year so far, I would say. And yeah, it was pretty impressive. I don't have a bad thing to say.
Yeah, that's the difference I'm seeing from Kirk this year. He's winning these primetime games. He's winning the close games. Because if you look at it, the Falcons can easily be 1-3, but they're not because he's winning these football games at the end. So shout out to him, and that's what good football teams do. They win. Win. At the end of the day, you can pass for 100 yards. If you win the game, you win the game, right?
Absolutely.
I will say this. I will say this though. They won that division game, but in the next couple of weeks, to just be like. I mean, like the way I think about it, if they don't figure out this Bijan situation with running the ball, they're gonna lose some games, like a lot. They can't live with Kirk throwing like that. FYI.
What do you do? What do you do? Have 58 attempts, or what was it?
It's not gonna win like that in the league. Yeah,
it was a lot of attempts. He won't do that on my Bears. We got the best secondary in football. Conversation different day.
Had to sneak it in there. All right, moving on. Let's look off FanDuel. We're gonna start with the Jets Vikings. Vikings, as we said, hottest team in football. Spread only -2.5 versus a shaky Jets team. Vince, how you feeling about this game?
If you ask me, this is the toughest, if not the toughest, one of the toughest games of the week. If we're talking just a game, not talking no spreads or anything like that, give me the Jets because they need it more. They need it more. I think that Aaron Rodgers owns the Vikings like he's owned almost damn near every other team in the NFC North since the beginning of time. And I think that trend continues early. And where they're playing at London.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I think that trend continues early. Give me the Jets 24, the Vikings 23.
Chuck?
Nah, Fuck all that. I ain't hold you. Like I saw the I just like you watch that Denver game. They just gonna blitz A-Rod. Like he cannot move.
Screen game.
Huh?
Screen game.
Yeah. They Bijan, not Bijan, but Brees Hall is just ass, bro. Like he's like, I mean, I don't know what like, bro. Like the Vikings is for real, man. I ain't gonna lie. I believe like it's 4 games in a row.
Oh, here we go.
The best bro. I believe in systems, man. Like if you in a system and it works, I just feel like the Vikings go show it off to the world. This is a world game. This is in London. They go show it off like we going to London. Sam Darnold. Oh yeah, y'all had me fucked up early in my career. I'm back now. Man, Vikings ain't losing this. I get it, the whole A-Rod Vikings, but we got to give it up, man. A-Rod is not Tom Brady. That shit is washed. Give me the Vikings -2.5.
Tough game, as Vince said. I'm on the fence about it. In my mind, you think this and that. If there's one person that's been around long enough to figure out a Brian Flores defense, it is A-Rod. I'm taking the Jets +2.5 here. It smells like a trap game to me. It smells like, I mean, you see the money here. Look at the spread and bets. I mean, everyone's on the Vikings. Every single person is loading up on them. I hate when I see that. I'd rather see that closer to 60-40. Aside from that, I just think the Jets, as Vince said, they need it. They can't lose this game if they want to compete for the division. They cannot lose this game. They need it.
But maybe not just the division, but the AFC playoffs in the whole.
The wild card, yeah. Go ahead, Chuck.
To be fair, I really agree with Vince, though. This is for sure the hardest game of the week to pick. I mean, like, I like the Vikings. I'm done betting against them. Like, their defense is for real, and they went to Green Bay. But that second half in Green Bay was difficult. But I ain't gonna hold you up, man. I do agree with Vince. This shit is scary. I wouldn't touch this game, to be honest with you, but I do like the Vikings -2.5.
I want to bet on this either. I'm just not comfortable. I don't like London games, but just give me A-Rod in this game. Moving on, to me, this is just as hard to pick. Maybe you guys disagree. We have the Ravens at Bengals. Bengals are home dogs, 2.5 point spread. They're not giving that 3, despite how the money's looking. Chuck, how you feeling?
This is another game where it's like, what?
I'm trying to tell you.
Vegas is sneaky, bro. Like 2.5. It's like, yeah, let me give 2.5 versus Bengals can't stop a nosebleed. It's like, but it's a division game. They need the dub, bro. Like, super need the dub. You get Lamar on the road. They kind of buckled on the road versus the Cowboys the second half. I ain't got the heart to take the Bengals money line or with the points. Give me I think it's another Derrick Henry game. I think Derrick Henry's for real. I think the Ravens figured it out. They have to run the ball. They have 2 running backs, Lamar and Derrick Henry. I think it's another crazy running game. Derrick Henry goes off. Lamar does his thing. Joe Burrow does his thing. I think it's a close game, but I think the Bengals probably end up losing by like 3 or 4. It's gonna be just another game I wouldn't bet on, but it's gonna be you have your heart beat up. But give me the Ravens -2.5.
Vince?
Yeah, I'm in the same boat, but I think it's a blowout. Although every time I said the Ravens were going to win the blowout, they've lost this year. But I just don't see it. Like, I just physically can't see it. The Bengals defense is a nosebleed. Like, the defense is horrible. Like, they can't stop a nosebleed is what I meant to say. You look at the Commanders game, Jaden Daniels did whatever he wanted. And I think that Lamar Jackson will do whatever he wants. And I think the Bengals will put out a nice offensive showing, but I just think the Ravens will get more stops than the Bengals will, and ultimately give me the Ravens 35, the Bengals 21.
Ooh, super blowout. Yeah, this is a make or break game for the Bengals. I've been on kind of a tear to pat myself on the back with underdogs every week. I've been hitting them about 3-1 or 4-1. I think I am with picking underdogs, and I'm going with the Bengals +120. Give me the Bengals on the money line to even this division up a little more. 2-3. Ravens will be 2-3. I picked the Bengals to win the division, so I got to stick with them until it's over. They lose this game, I'm off them. But give me the Bengals money line. I think it's a classic NFC North game. I don't think there's going to be any surprises in this one. Probably back and forth all game. But yeah, Bengals defense does need to step up, and it's going to be tough to stop. King Henry for sure. Moving on. Another good game. This is a really good slate. Bills, Texans. The Bills are plus 1.5. Fellas, Bills are hot, but give me the Texans here. I think Texans are going to get this done. I don't want to consider them an underdog. This should be a pick, probably a pick game, but even that 1.5 is telling me the books are kind of favoring the Texans a little bit, just a little bit. I don't really have a reason. I think this is just another tight game. These three games we're talking about are essentially coin flip games in my mind, but give me the Texans at home. I think they get the job done. This could be a future MVP versus MVP talk later in the season. Who won the head-to-head game? Vince, what you think?
I'm with you. As you all know, I went to the Bears and Texans game a few weeks ago, and I think the Texans have only lost on the road. You guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but Houston's a tough place to win a football game on the road in, man. Now, granted, the game I went to was Sunday Night Football, so it was extra theatrics. You know, they had like Slim Thug come out, jets going all over the field and shit. But just in general, man, like down here in Texas, I feel like they really love their sports, and NRG is a tough place to go on the road and get a W in. So I think it's a close game, and I do think it's tough. I'm not going to say that the Bills don't have a chance, but I do like the Texans to win this one.
Chuck?
H-Town, baby, where I went to school at, and I'll be back next month. Definitely coming down to that Lions game. I'm gonna stay for like 4 or 5 days. We about to be out there, dog. Kirby, we back. We back in Kirby. We back, dog.
Let's do it.
But on some real shit though, you give me Josh Allen with points, man. I'm taking it every time, bro. After a bad performance, I get it, but this at the beginning of the week was Bills -1. Then Shakir got hurt. He's out. So they just like, all right, well, fuck it. This is we talk DFS later, but this is the Josh Allen, fuck you. I'm the MVP game. I think the Bills win. I think the Bills win handily too. I respect Vegas with that -1, but man, it's just no way, bro. You give me Josh Allen with points on the road versus a team that I think that's Texans are good, but like they've been every game, like they beat the Jacksonville Jaguars last week on the last play of the game. Not last play of the game, but they score with like a couple seconds left. There's no way the Bills win this game. But give me the Bills -1. I mean, give me the Bills with the points. I like the Bills to win outright. Give me the Bills plus money.
And if you guys see here, the Texans are 0-4 against the spread. I just think that ends this week. Just the odds are another favor. Chuck, the reverse. You said the line was Bills -1. All the money's on the Bills, and we see some reverse line movement. That doesn't scare you at all?
Nope, they don't. I just feel like
red flag, man. Reverse line movement. That's red flag, man.
Sharp play. I just feel like Vince might be right. I haven't checked, but I think the Texans don't lose at home, and I get that. But I think they're gonna take this L this Sunday.
They're 3-1. They just lost. They lost to the Vikings on the road, and then we come to find out Vikings are a good football team.
They're coming off that win. Jacksonville. They just played Jacksonville too close, and I watched a little bit of that game. I just feel like the Bills gonna tighten up. They're gonna tighten up, man. They ain't got no Joe Mixon again. I just don't. This is weird. Like, give me the Bills. Vegas got to show me on this one. This is miswritten with the spread that the cappers are capping.
Next, we got the Dallas Cowboys at the Pittsburgh Steelers. Sunday Night Football, an old school cross-conference rivalry, as you could say, back in the 90s, maybe late 80s. Vince, how you feeling about this one?
This game is in Pittsburgh, right?
Yes, sir.
No Micah Parsons. The Dallas Cowboys have, I believe, what I read was the 26th ranked defense. Give me Justin Fields. Give me QB1 Justin Fields and the Pittsburgh Steelers in a blowout.
Ooh.
In a blowout season. And I'm not going to say the Cowboys season is over because they still got games against the Giants and it's the NFC. But give me, with no Micah Parsons, Justin Fields has a field day and solidified some starters. Not just for the rest of the season, not just for the hot take, not just for the rest of the season, but with this after this W here, Fields will be the solidified QB1 in Pittsburgh for at the very least the next 5 years.
Yeah. Hey, man,
it.
I ain't gonna hold you up, bro. I'm with him. Give me the Steelers in a blowout, bro. I just don't. I mean, bro, 2.5. Vegas ain't lying, dog. Vegas. They 2.5 points in Pittsburgh. This is the Najee Harris get back game. He burned everybody last week. I thought everybody on FanDuel got burned by Najee Harris. They just can't stop the run. No Parsons, bro. I'm with Vince, man. I think the Steelers just flood the Cowboys. Cowboys are not good this year. If you're a bet man, take not to hate on the Eagles, G. Not to hate on the Eagles, but from what I've seen right now, if you're a betting man, whatever that Washington, the Commanders to win the division,
plus 220.
Drop some light on that.
Yeah, you get a little 2-1 on that. The books won't give you too much.
I hating on the Eagles, but they look bad right now.
Cowboys at Steelers. I'm with you guys. It's I think our first 3-0 on the slate. I'm taking the Steelers here. Not sure if it'll be a blowout because it's somewhat desperation mode for Dallas, seeing Washington play well, seeing the Eagles' schedule kind of lighten up the next few weeks. They're in a tough spot, but no Parsons, man. I don't know what they're gonna do. Yeah, they still have some corners, but I don't know. I will say this: preseason. Give me a sec, Chuck. Preseason, I will say this. I'm kind of right or wrong. I was completely wrong about the Steelers. I said this will be the first year they will be under 500. When I was saying that, I also didn't know Justin Fields was going to be the quarterback. And Vince can attest to this, not to get off topic. Vince can attest to this. I was one of the people that said the Bears should have kept Fields and drafted Marvin. I've never been against Fields. So not saying I would have picked Steelers to win the division or make playoffs if they had Fields start from the jump. But with Russ at quarterback, that is the reason why I had the Steelers being under 500 before the season started. So I want to cover that because people might go back and say, you had the Steelers going like – hey, man, Fields is balling. I'm rolling with him. Steelers win 24-20.
Bro. You should be a GM. That's actually like I would have – like Fields, definitely keep Fields and draft Marvin Harrison. That's definitely better than what they got right now.
Well, we talked about that. Vince and I, we were – come on, man. They already had the defense.
I screamed it for 6 months. I said Fields.
Yeah, I was with
Marvin Harrison.
Hey, you did, low-key. Yeah, you did.
And Jim Harbaugh. I screamed it for 6+ months.
I was with you there. That would have been scary, man. I don't want to get off topic. That would have been scary with that defense right now. Whew.
Hey, real quick though, just to talk about the Dallas Cowboys real quick, and like, this is just me being honest. Like, Micah Parsons out, but it's like he's been asked this year. Does it even matter? Like, not to be like, I get it.
I get the point you're trying to make. I think it definitely matters. I think that although Micah hasn't been Micah, I think that he's definitely seeing more double teams and, teams definitely giving more attention. You know what I mean? And then they're not getting nothing from Tank. They're not getting nothing from I think Tank is actually even hurt, right?
Tank and Joe Mixon out, I think.
And the D tackle that they got just, they're not generating no rush. So yeah, I wouldn't put it all on them. I get the point that you're making though. Would it have mattered? I think with a guy like Fields, who's like constantly going outside the pocket, you definitely want to have a rusher like Mike.
I hear that.
Sorry about that if I got cut off for a second.
Moving on, last game of the week, we have the Saints-Chiefs minus 5.5. A tricky game because Chiefs are fighting some injuries here, but I'm not going to overthink it. I feel like I've been against the Chiefs every week on the spread. So give me the Chiefs this week minus 5.5. I don't know. Saints think they bluffed some people with week 1 and week 2 with the offense. I think the Chiefs play a little defense this week and get the job done. Not sure if they cover. I would probably take them minus 5.5, but I think they'll squeeze out a dub here versus Saints. Chuck?
This is Vegas protecting themselves. I'm taking the Saints with the points. Vegas, I mean, like you got to respect the Chiefs at home. So I get why the spread's so high. But bro, like they got Kelsey. I mean, like, what do you do? Like they got no receivers, bro. The number one is the rookie. Like they have to. I don't know what they're going to do right now. Like, and they can't. They got running back one's out, receiver one's out. And they're still minus 5.5. This is just Vegas like, dang. We gotta put it. They would have been 7 if they all was playing 7.5 ish. Chargers gave them a game last week, and the Chargers, I think their offense is terrible. And they beat the Chargers late. I just feel like this spread is like just trying to like Vegas want to figure it out after this game. I like the Saints plus 5.5, and I wouldn't be surprised if the Saints actually won this game. To be honest with you,
Vince,
I'm with Chuck on this one. If we're talking gambling, I definitely would take the 5. I don't know if I got the galls to go money line, but just if we were just doing a pick 'em, man, give me the Saints, man. I think no Pacheco is going to show his face this week, and I think no Rashee Rice with Hollywood Brown already being out. That means that you get Lattimore on Worthy or whoever else they got. And the Saints safeties are pretty good to kind of. I'm not saying they're going to keep Travis Kelce in check because Kelce definitely starting to play better. I'm not going to say back to form, but I think the Chiefs finally take a L. I think this. I'm not going to say the Saints are some juggernaut or they're hell on wheels, but I do think the Saints can pull this one out. So you know what? Just for the hell of it, give me the Saints. Give me the Saints over the Chiefs. Primetime doggies.
And that wraps up our Week 5 games. With that being said, Davante Adams, where do we think he lands, fellas? Chuck, I know you talked about it a little bit off air. Where do you think Davante Adams winds up?
Somewhere where he don't want to be. I'm over this shit. These motherfuckers just like they got the audacity. You wanted to go to fucking Oakland because of Derek Carr. Shit didn't turn out right. Now you like Trey. I hate these like Stephon Diggs, motherfucker. I'm not a fan of that, bro. I'm just not. I've never been a fan of that, bro. Like, I get it. Like, you're not going to win the division. I'm with you on that. I think of all these teams that need them, but they're in the division. Raiders, dumb. They do that shit. You send them to. I mean, like, if you want to send them to the Saints, you're gonna have to send them to the Saints, man. You got to send me like a 1st-round draft pick, 2nd-round draft pick. Send me Taysom Hill. Like, you gotta send me something. But like, I'm not. The Saints make sense. The Saints make sense because he wanted to play with Derek Carr again. But bro, you gonna go anywhere I shoot. Like, the package come in, I'm shipping your ass to the fucking the Browns. I don't give a fuck. Like, you're not going to where you want to go. You're not about to get what you want. That's the problem too with this shit. Like, they keep sending everybody where they want to go. This shit has to stop, bro. If you signed up like he did, he signed up for the long run. Like, nah, Gardner Minshew, my quarterback. Nah, I'm good. I don't want to play. I'm out this week. You not hurt, bro. Stop the cap. Like, you don't want to play. I'm not a fan of that shit, bro. I'm just not a fan of this shit.
Vince?
So I know he put something on his Instagram with like Edgar Allan Poe. And if you know anything about that, then that guy has like a book written about Ravens and all of that shit. But which was, I guess, insinuate that he might be going to Baltimore. I think it's either the Jets or the Saints. Not to say that that's what the Raiders would do just to appease him. I think that the Jets. I really think he might go to the Jets because the Jets' offense right now is so trash. And I don't think it's on Aaron Rodgers. I think it's Nathaniel Hackett. I think he's the offensive coordinator over there, and we saw what he did as head coach of the Denver Broncos. He's just terrible. I also think I was seeing something about them not letting him do his typical hard count and all that. So I think the Jets, man, they got a 40-year-old quarterback, and they're kind of all in, right? Hassan Reddick is kind of screwing them over by not being there, and I think they just need a spark. Now you might argue, is that going to stunt the growth of Garrett Wilson? I don't think so. I think that if anything, Davante Adams being there would help Garrett Wilson, right? Because it's not like Garrett Wilson is just tearing it up right now. And I think even before the season, I might have said something about him being a little overrated. But I think Davante Adams going there makes a lot of sense. And I think the Jets will do what it needs, at least give up the compensation that the Raiders are looking for. Because I think I read they only want a second or something like that, or an additional compensation. So maybe like a second, a late third, or a conditional third. I can see that transpiring. And yeah, or maybe they give up one of the running backs. Maybe they give up Brees and roll with Allen. I don't know, but I do think I think he goes to the Jets and reunites with Aaron Rodgers.
I think the biggest outlier here is, and I know there's loopholes for this, but I mean, look at the cap hit: 25 mil, 44 and 44 the 2 years after that. From my understanding, Saints are in cap hell, so they would have to go up a whole lot, player wise, and probably picks to get this guy over there. Is it worth it? I don't know where the Ravens and Jets are with cap space, but I don't know. Devontae Adams, 32. I'm not willing to give up a younger player that might balance this out.
I agree
Just
with that.
Devontae Adams, that's tough, man. $25 million cap hit. And then what do you do the next 2 years? He's on the back end of his career. I still think he's right there with the elite players, but I'm personally, I wouldn't even trade. If I'm the Raiders, I would be happy to get him off the books and maybe bring in some younger players. But I don't really have an answer. I don't know where he goes with these cap hits the next 3 years. And obviously, you can renegotiate and restructure, but that's further down the line. With that being said, we'll talk. Go ahead, Chuck.
Real quick, do you think he wants to win or he just wants the stats?
I think he wants to win. At the end of the day. He doesn't have a ring. It didn't really work out with Rodgers and Green Bay as far as championship. Seems like they kept choking. It'd be ironic if he goes back to Rodgers with the Jets. Garrett Wilson's already kind of unhappy, so to speak. Now you're going to bring in another receiver. I don't know. Just a messy situation.
So real quick, reports came out this week that they're going to revamp the offense in New York, and Garrett Wilson is going to be the focal point. This Breece Hall experiment is over, and I get it because he's terrible. He just bro. It's been week after week. It's like, bro, it's just like, dog. It's kind of like the Bijan situation with Atlanta. We don't know why he don't get the ball. It's the reason they don't give him the ball, right?
Yeah, it was kind of weird. The end of the Falcons game, seeing Algier out there on the last few drives.
We don't know. They see him every day, so we don't know. But back to the Aaron Rodgers, back to the Devontae Adams situation. He was winning in Green Bay. He could have stayed in Green Bay. They still would have won. But he decided to go to Oakland. And I get it. Derek Carr's his best friend. But you go to Oakland, you know you ain't winning. So I just don't know what he's trying to do right now, if that makes sense.
All right, let's move on. Let's move on from Adams. Plays you guys like this week, lock of the week. Here's my lock of the week, fellas. Josh Jacobs hasn't scored this year. I'm going Josh Jacobs anytime touchdown at -135. I'm 3-1 on lock of the week. I haven't kept track of my actual plays, but for lock of the week, I'm 3-1, trying to go 4-1 this week with Josh Jacobs. Other plays I like Kyler over 1.5 passing TDs, not necessarily a lock, just a play I like, and Bengals +120, as I told you guys earlier. Vince?
My lock of the week is I know it's gonna sound biased. They're gonna say, "Oh, he's just a Bears fan." Give me the Chicago Bears spread -4. What is it? 4 now? 4.5?
3.5 on FanDuel, but with the juice at -120.
I think it started at 3.
It's probably 4 on some sites.
Maybe the public is heavy on the Bears, but rightfully so. I'm gonna list off the quarterbacks that have beaten the Carolina Panthers. I feel like we're 7-1 against them the last 10 years. Justin Fields is beating them. Mitch Trubisky is beating them. Tyson Bagent is beating them. Andy Dalton is beating them. So I say all that to say the Bears are a lock this weekend. I think this should be my first one that wins this week. Easily, too. Over at halftime.
Surprisingly, the money's, it's right down the middle pretty much. That surprised me a little bit. I figured it would be about 65-70% towards the Bears. But
I would feel better if Bryce was in there, but we'll shake up old man Dalton and win that one easily.
Chuck?
Vince with the layup of the week. The Panthers so ass.
Listen, I ain't saying nothing about the Bears or no locks the first couple of weeks against these Panthers. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you gotta take it. I ain't gonna hold you up. Hey, so I'm gonna go. It's a lot of locks a week for me, but I'm gonna go wild with this one, bro. And I think it's a lock. I swear to God, bro. Browns money line in Washington.
I'm not mad at that.
I think Commanders. I watched the Browns last week. They should have beat the Raiders. Deshaun Watson threw a 75-yard bomb to Amari Cooper. It got called back because the worst holding call they called all year. It got called back and they ended up losing. Deshaun Watson looked like Deshaun Watson last week. And I swear, I think this week it carries over. Just give me the Browns money line straight. I think that's a lot. I just feel like Arizona was not a good team, like I said last week, and I feel like the Browns. I feel like Deshaun Watson figured it out. This is a Deshaun Watson. Speaking of DFS, Deshaun Watson and Amari Cooper. I'm telling you, this is the week.
Do this, G. Do this real quick. Put in Browns money line, Bears spread, and Josh Jacobs anytime touchdown.
Or 3 locks.
Mm-hmm.
Get a little 6 to 1, 6.5 to 1.
That's not bad. I like that. I like that a lot. That might be for the people. You might have to put that ticket up.
The 3 locks. Yeah, it's not bad. I like it.
Yeah.
Oh, Amari Cooper over 100 yards receiving. I've been really good at this, bro. And I got burned by Chris Godwin's bitch ass the other night. Outside of that, Drake London over 110. I had that, but I had to pair with Godwin the other night.
Amari Cooper odds for receiving.
Oh, what's over 100?
I'm trying to find.
And they'll be having these wild odds over 100 yards.
I don't even
receiving.
see alt yards on here. They don't have the alt yet.
Right? I think Chubb is back too, though. They might run the ball a little bit.
Is Chubb? Is he officially back?
Oh, he might not be active.
I think he's out. I think he's out.
Practicing. I got to roll through.
Probably back next week. He's probably back next
53.5 right now, but I don't see. They don't have alt receiving yards up here.
Smash the over, bro. He would have had a bigger line if they didn't call that holding call back last week.
I like that first one you got. I don't know about that one. Browns are weird. I mean, I'd like the Browns to win. I like that pick. I don't know about Amari over 100. I mean,
they don't have all.
Chase killed him. Chase killed him.
Yeah.
It could happen. It could happen. I don't know nothing about props though. But yeah, let's get ready to wrap it up.
Like Amari, it's crazy to see it like the number one receiver with no run game at 53.5. It's just like the math in my head. Like, it's no way he doesn't get that, bro. He had it last week with like, if he dropped the ball 2 for like 30. That's the only pick Deshaun had. He caught it and it just popped up and they picked it. So it was like, they would have went off last week, bro. It would have been higher if that fluke should have happened last week.
All right, we'll wrap up this episode. I know Vince got to burn. Chuck, if you and I want to stay on, talk a little baseball, we could do that to end it up, maybe 10, 15 minutes.
You say the Tigers won again. What?
Here we go. But
that's
another episode in the books. Vince will holler at you. We'll still be on here talking a little baseball. All right, guys. Chuck, you like Tigers for the series. Tigers, I believe they're plus 105 last I checked. Let's see where we're at. The Phillies are where we at?
My dog be wild.
They changed all this up, man. Come on now. ALDS. Where are the Tigers? The Tigers are plus 104 for this series. You like them, or you like them because you're a Detroit fan? Or you think
I like really win bro. So let me. I got. This is the timestamp for like when I post on IG.
This is what you got to do right here.
Let me break it down. Bro.
That's our bet right there, Chuck.
Oh yeah, and the New York Mets are pitching the Asian. Let me. I don't want to. Not bad.
Hey, yeah.
Let me chill. They pitch the homie they pitching today, bro. Philly bought the rock, bro. I'm just saying. Philly bought the rock, bro, today. They ain't got no choice, though. They went through every pitcher in the Milwaukee series, so, like, they ain't got no choice. That's what I said. The wild card really do put you at a disadvantage if you don't win those first 2 games. You know, because now you 3. Now you 2 starters. You might be 3 or 4 because you might bring a starter in to pitch 3-4 innings. So, like, and then, like, yeah, I think Philly sweep these motherfuckers, just to be honest with you. But if you go back to August, and this is not me just talking shit. You pull up the stats. The best team in baseball has been the Detroit Tigers, record-wise, pitching-wise, hitting-wise. Like, it's just every stat. I don't know. And I can't explain it. They just clicked. I don't know what the fuck happened. In August, they just was like, I don't know if they had a team meeting. I don't know. They just was like, yep, let's get it. They just been on a heater. I don't know. So, like, it just makes no sense that the best team in baseball are underdogs against a team that is worse than the Astros. Give me the Tigers.
I like the Tigers plus 104. mean, it says a lot when the underdog is almost even money and the favorites.
They don't believe in us yet, but if we win this series, that's when we'll start to be favorites.
Well, watch what happens if you guys win. If you guys win game one, you guys will become like minus 120 to win, minus 130.
100%, yeah.
But
yeah.
interesting.
It's crazy. To jump off the Tigers real quick. Game one, Yankees Royals. New York is minus 205. Man, give me the Royals money line, bro. I've seen this Yankee shit. They are fucking horrible. Pitching's ass. Like, they bats go cold. I'm not buying this Yankees play. I'm not buying it. Give me the Royals. The Royals fucking went to Baltimore and won 2 games. Give me the Royals, bro. This is crazy. I like Tigers, Royals, Phillies, and give me the Dodgers. Padres just lost homie for the year. He might be out next year. He got to have Tommy John.
That's your prediction for baseball. So we'll go Phillies and Dodgers. If you parlay that, it's 13-1 odds, almost 14-1. Not a bad thought right there.
Yeah.
But let's wrap up the episode. You and I could talk a little bit after episode 5 in the books. Talk soon.
Book, baby. Talk soon.